You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm moedotj. This is the Mo You Know. Today we got us a documentary. It's called Love You to Death for the Love or for the Money. I'm gonna start trying to do earlier lives for you guys, especially on the Mo You Know channel, because we have a schedule for the evenings on my main channel. But I'm gonna try to do either documentaries or we'll do body cam footage over here on the Mo You Know. Let me get situated and we can go ahead and get this thing started. What up, Eric? We trying to get this channel to 500 subscribers. Think we at like 406, something around there. Slowly but surely creeping, climbing up the ladder. Switch account. What up, Lily? I know what time it is. Today is brought to you in part by Truly, the original lemonade. You feel me? But we do got us a little documentary. Getting a little warm outside. But let me see. This documentary is called Love You to Death for Love or Money. Now it says Love You to Death for Love or Money. It's a 2024 documentary. I think it said it came out in February, but it's a crime, a mystery. The shooting of beloved Cleveland firefighter leads detectives to uncover a shocking plot for money gone very wrong. What up, Catalyst? The shooting of a beloved Cleveland firefighter leads detectives to uncover a shocking plot for money gone very wrong. I wonder how much do firefighters make in Cleveland before we jump into this? I used to want to be the first job I ever wanted to be was a firefighter. How much do firefighters make in Cleveland? $90,000 in Cleveland? What is the cost of living in Cleveland? 95. 90.5 a year in Cleveland. What is $90,000 is good. Shit, I go up there being a firefighter. It's 4% lower than the national average. So this is where I was living, you know, saying out in the Yay area, 86 over. So Cleveland is 4% under. Damn, so it's 90% cheaper to live in Cleveland. Damn. What's 90% of 3,300? Sorry, y'all, I gotta 3,000 times 0.9 minus. Wait a minute, that can't be right. $330? It's 90% cheaper. Damn, so that means in Cleveland, what I was paying in California, nigga, I could have had like a 7-bedroom house. Do they got swimming pool? Do they got swimming pools in Cleveland? If it's 90% cheap, man, I could have been living like a damn NFL player out in Cleveland. Y'all would have thought that I was y'all would have thought I was a legitimate millionaire. Y'all would have thought I had a million in the account, not touching a mill. You know what I mean? Now I'm not no millionaire. I'm a thousandaire, but I'm a decent thousandaire. But shit, if I had moved to Cleveland, no disrespect to Cleveland, shit, it'd look like I was worth like $2-3 million, to be honest with you. All right. So Cleveland, that ain't bad. All right. Well, let's get back to the doc. I just wanted to see how much money we're talking. Because it said he's a firefighter. The shooting of beloved Cleveland firefighter leads detectives to uncover shocking plot for money gone very wrong. Now, was he a fire chief though? Because that's when you really get the money. Between 74 and 95. So, damn. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. This is the Mo You Know. We'll be doing documentaries. If the live cuts off, that means Tubi ain't care about us and they went ahead and got us up out of here. But luckily, this is my secondary channel and we don't care about copyright strikes over here. We'll take copyright strikes like we take kids' candy. We don't care over here. We'll let this channel sit and we'll get back to it. But here or not, we're going to jump into this.
He was a devoted firefighter and father, recently divorced and looking for love.
He wanted to find something better for his life and something that really fulfilled him.
And when a nurse and fellow single parent came into his life, he found a second shot at happiness.
I was looking forward to the future.
They seemed to be the people that enjoyed giving back to their community, that loved each other.
But the day before the couple were set to move into their new dream home, everything came crashing down.
He shot 4 times before he could even enter the house.
Wait, didn't it say he was engaged to a nurse? Well, he was shot 4 times. The only thing you can do getting shot multiple times, you can apply pressure, but you got to apply pressure to the most vital areas. Like anything up by the lungs and the heart, you're going to have to apply the most pressure there. Like if it's just shot in the gut, you can put a little bit of pressure there, but you want to apply it mostly to the top.
They wanted him to die.
The murder had detectives stumped.
Yeah, they said the day
How
before.
could something like that happen to him?
It was a shock. It was an absolute shock.
The investigation would soon have police following a Byzantine trail of misdirection, bogus alibis, and the ghost of insurance policies past.
they realize that his ex-wife is the beneficiary of his $100,000 life insurance.
Well, there we go. We don't need to look any further. But that's why all my life insurance policies, they go to my brother. My brother would never unalive me. Excuse me. When I was in the military, my $400,000, my life insurance, 200,000 went to my brother, 100,000 went to my mom, 100,000 went to my dad. But my brother was getting the majority of my life insurance. It wasn't going to my wife. It was going to my brother, because she would get everything else that I had at that moment, which was still a nice little nest egg and would have been more than 200,000. But I got to make sure my brother is straight, because I am my brother's keeper. But yeah, whenever you hear life insurance policies and it's in the ex's name, go ahead and point all the fingers over there.
Policy.
I was like, you gotta kill this dude for some money. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm down with it.
To do that to your own kid is really unimaginable.
She's freaking evil. Just downright evil.
Do you care to make any statements about our investigation into the murder of William Walker?
That one attorney.
Hey, this seems like it's going to be, this one seems like this is going to be good here. So it looks like the ex-wife got her son. Well, just from what we've seen, it looked like the ex-wife got the son to pop him to get that 100,000. Well, that's what they made it seem like. Of course, it probably ain't all gonna fall in line like that. Now, I always play both sides because I ain't got no dog in this fight. But innocent or not, always get a lawyer. Never talk to the law. Never talk to them one-on-one. I don't care what it is. Traffic ticket, you ain't got to say a word to them. Give them your damn license and registration and shut up. Don't say nothing to the police ever, guilty or innocent, unless it's, of course, you're reporting something. Love you to death for love or money.
Sunday, November 3rd, 2013. At 8:35 p.m., Cuyahoga County emergency dispatchers receive a desperate 911 call.
911, do you need police? Fire. I can't hear you. What's going on? He got shot, please. Who got shot? My husband, please. Please. My God. Please. Okay, the police are coming in.
When fire and EMS initially arrive on the scene, they find the victim lying in the on the driveway adjacent to the side door of his home.
As first responders begin to render aid, they make a heartbreaking discovery.
Firefighters and rescuers realize very quickly that they know this as their friend, as their colleague. This is William Walker.
William Walker was a Cleveland Fire Department lieutenant.
He was still alive when they got there, and they were trying to talk to him. He was trying to talk back to them.
Even though he was barely breathing, he's saying, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning.
They determined that the best thing to do would be get him into the hospital as soon as they can. So they scooped him up pretty quickly. They allowed the wife, Yoloma, to accompany them in the ambulance to the hospital.
Sunday evening, and I got a text message that firefighter Will Walker has been shot and was being transported to Metro Health Hospital.
How could something like that happen to him?
Born and raised in one of the tougher neighborhoods in Cleveland, Ohio, 45-year-old William Walker had the cards stacked against him from a young age.
Will was born in the late 60s in Cleveland, Ohio. He grew up in the projects off of 40th and Broadway. Single mother. His dad wasn't around, and he did everything he could to get out of there.
Now, Cleveland is a Midwest city. Has anyone ever been to Cleveland? I used to be in Dayton, Ohio when I was at Wright Pat. So I stayed there for 3 months. And over the span of 6 years, I probably went there a total of maybe 8 months total, because we used to have school up there for bio. bio and public health. We went to school at Wright Pat. But I never really left outside of Dayton. You know what I mean? Dayton, Ohio was just the only place we went. I never went to Cleveland. I never went to Cincinnati. Has anybody ever been out to Cleveland? I'm hearing it's just as bad as, all the other Midwest cities, Kansas City, Chicago. It's bad like that too. St. Louis. Some weird shit, man.
He attended high school in Cleveland, Ohio, where he actually met his wife, Rita. They were high school sweethearts.
They fell in love. They went on to have 2 kids together. As a father, William absolutely adored his kids. He worked really hard to make sure that they were provided for.
His kids were the world to him. Everything he did was, for his kids.
They rate that yard.
Will supported his family with a job at a local steel mill, but by 1998, he was ready for a change.
So he decided that he was going to take some EMT classes. He fell in love with the craft, and he decided he wanted to be a firefighter.
The first time I met Will Walker, I was one of his instructors in the fire academy, and Will just jumped right out at us. He had an outsized personality, and he was very well respected as a worker. He was someone you could trust.
When he came to our squad, it was the heavy duty rescue squad. So he had to learn rope rescue, confined space, hazmat. He was definitely dedicated.
Hazmat ain't no joke. Wow. My hazmat certification expired, which is 24/17. I got my hazmat certification in 16. I think mine expired in like 22. I think it was like good for 4 years. Yeah, hazmat ain't no joke. And I need to go get my new CPR certification too. Even though I'll never apply CPR to no one in the real world, I still like to be able to do CPR. You know what I mean? Just in case. Because, if you do CPR on somebody in the real world and they die, the family can sue you. Or if you crack their ribs, they can sue you for that because they didn't give you consent. So, you got to get consent, even if someone is choking on something before you give them CPR. And I'm not doing mouth to mouth. They should have like an AED somewhere, but also over there should be like a container that you can open up, and there's a plastic thing that you put over their mouth, and then you put the tube on there and you blow in the tube. This isn't a pause situation because we're trying to save lives, but I'm not doing mouth to mouth with nobody unless there's something out there and that person's like, yeah, Mo, help. I'm not giving them CPR.
First impressions on him, he kind of looked like a football player. He was a tall, big, strapping dude. He worked out a lot, made jokes. He was just a happy guy.
I think when he became a firefighter, he really saw the opportunity of community service. He was a servant to the community, and he took that oath very seriously.
But as Will's career blossomed, his marriage to Rita began to wilt.
They just kind of turned into roommates, and sometimes that seems to happen in marriages.
And in 2004, they officially got divorced.
His children were staying with his ex-wife full time, but he always saw his children.
I can remember when that happened, and, he was devastated.
It's this big change. He's been this family man for all these years. Like, who is he now?
Over the course of the next few years, Will put his romantic life on the back burner and poured himself into his work.
He taught for the local hospital. He did their continuing education classes. He did CPR training and ACLS training, which is, advanced cardiac life support, that kind of stuff.
He wanted to share his knowledge. He wanted to share his joy of things.
In 2008, Will's love life was reignited when he met 37-year-old Uloma Curry.
William and Uloma actually met at the Eastern Stars, which is part of Freemasons. They were both very active in their churches, and they really connected over the fact that they were both single parents at the time. Uloma had 3 children.
Yeah.
She had our oldest daughter, Jessica, and she did not stay with her oldest daughter's father.
When someone grows up in poverty, your whole paradigm shifts. And oftentimes you see the money, you see the nice clothes, you see the vacations. That's a desire that you want. And oftentimes when you don't have it, it puts you in a position where you get hungry and have this desire for it. And she wanted those things, but she didn't have the financial means to get them.
Uloma decided one way to start climbing the ladder out of poverty was to find a husband. But a picture-perfect romance, it wasn't.
He did have a temper.
Why? Hey, man. We doing a documentary on this man's life. What temper we got? What we talking about temper? This man is a victim, man. We don't care about this guy, you know what I'm saying? He did have a temper. Like, come on, man. He works as a fucking firefighter, man. Life is tough. He got a divorce going on. He got to pay alimony probably. He got child support probably. We gonna have a temper. I ain't even got no kids, but sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm a little grumpy, but it don't mean I got a temper. She got 3 kids. He trying to make sure that his child support is going over to his kids. He trying to make sure his alimony is getting paid. He got to make sure that these 3 kids are getting fed plus her, because she's trying to move her way up out of the poverty ranks, meaning she's kind of a little bit lower. We seen that my dog is a firefighter making about 90. Well, this is what, 10, 11 years ago. So take off that 90. It's probably like a smooth 65, 70 maybe. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, we all got a little tempers.
And it wasn't until her then husband was manipulative to Uloma that she decided to leave.
Oh, it's the old husband. My bad. I thought they was talking about our boy Michael. My bad. They talk about the ex-husband, man. Fuck that nigga.
Uloma weathered other less than idyllic relationships, which gave her 2 other children, Jacqueline and Macklin Jr. Now raising 3 kids on her own, Uloma dedicated her life to providing for her family.
Uloma helped in various homes as a home healthcare nurse. She had, it seemed, a compassion to help other people.
And on the side, she even had a business teaching others how to practice phlebotomy.
With her oldest daughter, Jessica, now out on her own, Uloma began treating herself to some of the finer things in life she previously couldn't afford.
She liked to shop. She liked to have nice things. She liked to look nice and didn't want to know the word no.
When Uloma and Will met, she was instantly taken by Will. I mean, he is tall, dark, and handsome. He's got muscles.
Hey, William sound like me. Me and William sound identical. Tall, black, dark, and handsome.
He clearly takes care of himself, and they fell in love pretty quickly.
For Will, after years in a marriage that was built more on platonic friendship than passion, his romance with Uloma hit him like a thunderbolt.
They fell in love pretty quickly. They were dating exclusively very fast. They seemed to be a happy, healthy couple.
When he talked about her, he would light up. And I think that maybe he saw someone that maybe needed him. And I think that is probably what cemented that relationship for Will.
The hell with you, Eric.
Will and Uloma actually worked together to help grow Uloma's business of training phlebotomists. And so that was something that they took on together.
As their relationship progressed, Uloma actually ended up moving in with Will and bringing her 2 kids along with her. Her son, Macklin Jr., and her daughter, Jacqueline.
Here was someone that Will was dedicating his life to try to give her a better life, to try to give her kids a better life.
Because at the end of the day, he's always been a provider for his family.
But in 2013, the happy couple was blindsided by some devastating news.
Uloma comes home one day and she's like, Will, we have to talk. I've gone to the doctor and it turns out I have breast cancer.
All jokes aside, though, be sure to check yourself, women, for breast cancer. My mother's a breast cancer survivor. My aunt's a breast cancer survivor. My aunt passed from breast cancer. My sister had breast cancer. Yeah, so breast cancer runs in my in my family, on, you know what I'm saying, of course, the women's side. But fellas, you can even get breast cancer also. So you need to get yourself checked. I used to be the race for a cure. We used to go do that all the time. I got like 7 different shirts from the race for them cures. We used to go out there. That's back when my mom was younger. She used to knock them things out. Shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. So breast cancer is like, you know what I mean? I wear pink for breast cancer awareness. Like I said, my whole family went through it. But yeah, definitely get yourself checked.
And Will's like, you know what? I love you. I'm going to take care of you.
So he decided to marry her so that she would have, you know, good medical coverage for her treatment.
Will, being this caretaker type of person, he's going to do anything he can to protect her and take care of her.
To get the family's mind off of the diagnosis, Will got creative with their honeymoon.
They decided to take their honeymoon in Ireland, and they took the kids with them, a big family vacation.
Will always wanted to travel, wanted to go to new places. He hadn't been to Ireland before. He heard a lot of us talking about it, so he made his honeymoon in Ireland. He took that trip and he just dove into it, and he was with it.
I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna give me another drink. But Ireland is on the list, guys. I'm going to Ireland and I'm gonna buy a plot of land. So you guys will have to start calling me Sir moedotj when I buy this plot of land up in Ireland. Now it's just a little piece, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little piece of land. I think it's only like $50, but they send you like a plaque. So I'm gonna give me a piece of land, you know what I'm saying, so I can become a Sir. So whenever y'all address me, it will be Sir moedotj. It's no longer just Mo. You feel me? Sir Mo from here on out.
His bride.
On top of I am a doctor. So don't remember, Sir Dr. Mo.
They spent a lot of time together. She loved the trip. They had such a great time.
Things continued to look up for the family when in August of 2013, Will was promoted to lieutenant.
In the Cleveland Fire Department, promotion is a very competitive process. For lieutenant, you're competing against 300, 400 other people. And so it's a significant challenge, but it requires a significant time commitment, and Will successfully did that. If you get promoted from firefighter to lieutenant, that's a 16% pay raise. So getting promoted to lieutenant started to give Will the opportunity to provide better for his family.
15%.
With the new income that came with Will's promotion, he and Yoloma made a life-altering decision.
They bought a house in the suburbs, very quiet town, quiet place.
He was really looking forward to getting his family out of the inner city and into an area where they had some land. He had a little lake there. So he was really excited for the future.
Especially because Yoloma told the family that her cancer was responding well to treatment and full remission seemed on the horizon.
Hey, full remission.
Will and Yoloma were slated to move into their dream house on November 4th, 2013. But the events just one night prior have placed the couple's future, along with Will Walker's life, in jeopardy.
Will had been shot through the abdomen, hitting several major organs.
They took him to the hospital, and their main goal was to try to make sure that he lived.
As ER doctors at Metro Health Hospital work to save Will's life, police at the crime scene are trying to determine how and why Will was shot.
In checking the area, the police find that the victim's keys are still in the door of his house. McDonald's bags are strewn all over the driveway.
So from what they can tell, he
Nah,
was probably ambushed.
He probably had his back to whoever had approached him as he was trying to enter his house, and that's when he was shot. The first responding police.
Just a heads up, when so I got to give you guys some pointers. Whenever you're going into the crib, always look around. Now I ain't got no new cars, so motherfuckers they really ain't, unless they've been watching me, they ain't looking to steal my car. But always be aware of your surroundings when you pulling up. Look around before you get to the spot. Make sure you don't see nobody on the side of the, on the side of the house. But when you're getting ready to go into the house, have your keys ready. Have your keys ready. So by the time you get to the door, you can just get that in there. No time to be talking. You got to get in the house. You can do all the talking once you get in, but Mm-mm.
Police officers also reported that when they first observed the victim, they saw that his pockets were pulled inside out.
They have to take in consideration that this could possibly be the result of a robbery gone wrong.
But additional evidence found in the driveway suggests something more involved than a mere robbery.
When they look at the scene, they see that there are 4 shell casings from a 9mm.
Usually in a robbery, they just want to stop the person, not necessarily kill them. This seemed way more deliberate. The fact that they shot him 4 times indicates that they wanted him to die.
Who would want a guy like beloved Cleveland firefighter William Walker dead? After collecting the shell casings found near Will's body, investigators turned to the other witnesses who'd been there at the time he was shot, his stepson Macklin and Macklin's girlfriend Ashley.
Macklin and Ashley also had a child together. So it was Macklin, Ashley, and the child living in the house with Yuloma and William.
The police interviewed Ashley and learned that Ashley had just arrived home herself and was parked in front of the house when she heard the gunshots. Macklin was upstairs on the 2nd floor playing video games when he heard the gunshots and then ran out to the driveway.
They asked him, do you know anybody that may have wanted to hurt Will? And they're like, no, he's such a great guy.
And they decide the best thing to do for themselves and for the baby is to get out of there as quickly as possible because they don't know if they're next.
At the hospital, Will's wife Yuloma and his friends and fellow firefighters Bob Kolar and Sean DeCrane are waiting anxiously for word on Will's condition.
We went up into the waiting room with his wife, Yuloma, and we're just being consoling. And I remember the doctor coming in and, kind of saying they did everything that possibly that they could do. And, Will had passed. And when they said that, she just burst out, curdling scream, crying on the floor.
She was extremely emotional and had to be helped into a chair.
We didn't want to leave him alone, so I stayed there until the coroner came and got him. Bob Kolar was with me, and we walked him to the coroner's van. That's when it starts to hit you, and you start to think about, I'm losing a family member.
With Will's body headed to the coroner's office for autopsy, police detectives arrive at the hospital, where a tearful Yuloma tells them about the events leading up to her husband's death.
They were moving into a new house within days. Because they had been packing all day, she was...
When these type of situations happen, I'm not saying I want to be putting, in these scenarios to see what they're thinking, but now you're trying to think of every intricate detail of what happened leading up to this. Did someone call the house? Were they mad? Did he get into it with somebody, at work or something? So there's a lot of stuff you got to think back on that she probably don't know, that he was going through outside of being with the house and the family. So it's like, damn, this is right after the incident. They just told you that he passed. So it's like, all right, what happened? You moved into a house. What next? Was there anything suspicious? Did he get into it with any of the movers or anything? Do you guys have anything expensive in the house that maybe the movers would have seen? Man, so it's all kinds of stuff that now she got to think about this and try to piece it all together. And then the police, they starting from scratch unless they, already got some bodies with them same ballistics. But it's just a lot.
Tired and didn't want to cook that day.
Will, being the doting husband that he is, says, I'll go get you some McDonald's.
Yuloma said that about 8:30 when Will returned home, she was on the phone with her sister. She heard the gunshots. She heard Will screaming. And when she ran outside, she discovered him laying shot and bleeding in the driveway of their home. Yuloma did tell the detectives that when she was tending to Will, he mentioned that there was a male in the backyard before he was shot.
So the detectives, they're asking her all the typical questions. does he have any enemies? And she says, his relationship with my kids, wonderful. His relationship with his kids, wonderful. He wouldn't have any enemies.
She did mention that earlier in the week he had a verbal altercation with some other people in the neighborhood.
I'm telling you, man, play by play. You already know what they gonna ask, but we got to figure out something, because it'll just be, well, he did have an altercation with who? Now they got to go to see whose house this was. Now they got to go ask him, and they're gonna be like, nah, it wasn't nothing serious between us. You know, just neighbors. He was on my yard, or one of the kids walked through my grass or something. It wasn't nothing serious like that. But yeah, that process of elimination. That's why I say everybody is a suspect until we remove them from the board. Yeah, we joke around about it, but that's really how it is. Everybody's a suspect. Kids, especially stepkids. You gotta watch stepkids too, because they'll get on your ass.
And they're like, oh, tell us more about that.
Now, I think she's telling the truth. I think it's the ex-wife that we got to look at. I think she's telling the truth, especially after he married her and helped her through breast cancer. Well, like, was supportive. You know what I mean? She recovered because of, you know what I'm saying, the doctors did what they had to do, but his support helped out. Yeah, I don't think she has anything to do with it. I know they mentioned like the life insurance was in the ex-wife's name. So I'm thinking that's the direction we got to go in.
He confronted a couple of drug dealers saying, hey, you know what? You're not doing this up here. You know, don't do this around my house.
Now, Uloma was like, it seemed like some of those kids were really upset. You never know what they're going to do nowadays.
At this point, police aren't entirely sure which direction this is going in. It partially looks like a robbery gone wrong, but also could this be these teenagers trying to get revenge on William?
There was speculation that this was retaliation for Will standing up to the gangs. I remember there was a lot of angst at that time.
Binky.
Like, who would gun down this gentleman in his driveway who was so active in his community?
The morning following the murder, police were back on the scene, canvassing the neighborhood to see if any neighbors had heard or saw anything unusual. When the police were there, they saw a young male walking down the sidewalk. They approached him to ask him a few questions to see if he knew anything, and that male fled on foot.
So the police run after him because why are you running away from us?
Because we not talking to no motherfucking police. We ain't got nothing going on. There should be no reason the police stop and talk to me. If I'm just walking down the street, one day I was walking down well, it's different over here. Like the police, they can get goddamn hostile with you. Like DUIs, you can't decline DUIs over here. It's either you take a breathalyzer or they arrest you and they draw your blood. They'll strap your ass down into a chair and they'll draw your blood. So it's best you just do the breathalyzer. But yeah, I was walking one night and there was a car that parked because there's a police station down the street from my house. I got to walk past the police station to get downtown. They were like, hey, excuse me. And I was like, shit, I ain't do nothing. So I know them niggas wasn't talking to me. So I kept walking. But then I heard some footsteps jog up on me. The motherfucking, the female cop pulled up and said, hey, we're talking to you. I said, okay, what do you want? Is this your car? I said, what car, man? I'm walking. She said, did you park that car? Because it was a car parked in the no parking. It was like in front of their garage. Well, not the garage, but like their gate to get out. I turned around. Oh, man, hell no. Oh, thank you. That's all you had to say. Say, man, I just kept it walking. I wasn't about to get ridiculous. You know, I had a little drink in my cup. And I wasn't supposed to have my drink in my cup. You feel me? But it is what it is. But cops that have no reason to talk to me, I ain't did nothing.
Less than 24 hours after the murder of firefighter William Walker, a neighborhood canvass has quickly turned into a foot chase.
The police caught up to this individual and questioned him, and he claimed that he knew Will Walker. He was a good guy. He says he didn't have anything to do with the crime that happened the night before. But he said he may have seen who did it.
He says that on the night of the murder, he sees two unidentified black men with hoods right near the house.
He was unable to identify either one of these individuals. but felt that because of the way they were acting and how they were dressed and the timing that they were probably involved in the murder.
The detectives they're pushing, do you know anything else? Could you possibly give me like a height, maybe ages, anything? He's like, that's all I know.
The vague description won't get investigators far. As for why the man ran from police, he claims it was because of a general suspicion of law enforcement, based on past run-ins where he was wrongfully identified as the perpetrator of a crime.
They tackled this man and he didn't have nothing to do with nothing. I told y'all, it's about 15 police. They pulled their guns on me and my brother in DC because I fit the description. A black man with braids and I had a tall tee on coming from the strip club. We were watching it was the Gilbert Arenas. He was in the playoffs. We were watching the game. I had me a fake ID. So I was like, damn, man, we about to get in trouble for something. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You feel me? They pulled my brother over in my colors because they said he smelled like weed. I'm like, man, that's a classic car. I don't even smoke no weed in that motherfucker. I don't smoke in that car. All kinds of shit. Me and my brother got pulled over in Reno for going under the speed limit because we were looking at the map trying to figure out where we was at. Man, all that shit. Fuck that. That's just stupid, man. You just don't talk to the police, man. Now they trying to shake this
In hopes
nigga
of
hand.
obtaining a more concrete lead, investigators decide to contact the one other person living in Will's house that they haven't spoken to yet. Uloma's 17-year-old daughter, Jacqueline Hines.
So Jacqueline is Uloma's second daughter. She lives in the house with William and Uloma part-time, and the other half of the time she lives with her boyfriend and his mom, and her boyfriend's name is Chad Paget.
So the detectives, they interview her. She claims that she gets along well with Will. There's no problems between the two of them.
When the murder took place, she stated that both herself and Chad were not at the house. They were at a friend's house, and that Ashley, her brother Macklin's girlfriend, informed her that Will had been killed.
Detectives ask Jacqueline if she can think of anybody who would want to hurt her stepdad.
Jacqueline said that there was one kid in the neighborhood who may have been of particular interest.
His name was Rex Coleman. Now, Rex Coleman was known to be the type of person that got into a lot of trouble.
He has an extensive criminal history that includes drug sales, robberies, weapons possessions.
He was one of the guys who Mr. Walker had chased off.
Jacqueline kind of insinuated that he may have something to do with this.
Investigators waste little time tracking down their new prime suspect.
The detectives learned that Rex had just been arrested on non-payment of child support warrant and was in jail. The detectives went to the jail and got Rex out and brought her back to the homicide unit for an interview. When the police interviewed Rex, he admits that he knew nothing of the shooting until people started to call him that night because they thought that he was the one who got shot.
Rex is like, I was out with my woman. I was eating pizza. I had absolutely nothing to do with this.
The detectives checked out his alibi with the girlfriend and determined that he, in fact, had nothing to do with it and was not even in the area when it happened. So Rex is now ruled out.
It's been 4 days since the shooting, and the investigation is beginning to hit a wall. As for Will's family, they soberly make the move into Will's dream house outside the city, with a little help from his friends.
Dozens of Will's co-workers showed up to help Uloma move out of the house into the new home.
We take care of our own, so guys got together and, moved everything out of his house, put everything in trailers, moved her out of the city.
And then before we left, we had a toast to Will. We left there feeling good, feeling nostalgic, having good memories of our friend.
That's fucked up.
Later that night, a candlelight vigil is held in Will's honor.
This vigil was a huge event. Everybody came out. The community really rallied together in a way that they had not seen before.
Our whole staff was there from the fire academy. I would say there were a couple hundred people there from the neighborhood. His Masonic brothers were there. I was really impressed how that community came together.
People were there because they truly loved Will and just couldn't believe what had happened.
Still no closer to figuring out who killed Will. Investigators decide to switch up their approach.
The detectives, they are looking into Will's background and they're looking into his life insurance policies, his money. Maybe if they follow the money, they'll be able to find the killer.
When you are the beneficiary of a life insurance policy of someone who was murdered, there's always going to be an investigation formed to make sure that there was no foul play involved with the murder.
They realize that his ex-wife, Rita, is the beneficiary of his
There we go.
$100,000 life insurance policy.
The paperwork had not been completed on transferring the life insurance policy to Yuloma's name.
Could Rita have wanted to cash in on Will's policy before it was too late?
That's a pretty good sign of somebody that may want to kill.
$100,000 though. I mean, in Cleveland, 2013. We got to do the math. I'm sorry. Let me see. I got to do the math. $100,000. 2013. Oh shit, I need to put another zero in there. My bad. So roughly $136,000 now. Living in Cleveland though. Living in Cleveland, $130,000 house. Shit, you probably get you a nice little 4-bedroom, pay that mug off. If you really want to, you know what I'm saying, save you some money, get you a cool little 3-bedroom, put about 50 bands down on it. Probably about you know what I'm saying, 50 bands down on the house. That leave us what, about 80? Get you a cool little Benz. You can get you a little C-Class, you know what I mean? But it's still a Benz. Get you a little C-Class because you got to feel like you got some class, you know what I'm saying, some status. Drop a little 30 piece on that. That leaves us with like 50. Make a couple of investments, get you some new wardrobe. Yeah, you could be in the game with 130 in Cleveland. 130 in Cleveland, you could be in the game, to be honest with you. But $100,000 for a body? Hell no. Then you got to pay them? Nah.
So his life insurance policy, he still had his first wife as the beneficiary on all of his stuff.
He was working, he was providing for his new family, but he never changed over to life insurance.
So they go and they find Rita, and she says, yes, of course I'm the beneficiary. I still have his children. So the money is really not for me. It's for his biological children.
Rita tells the police that her and William have a great relationship and they're still friends. They co-parent the 2 children they have together. In fact, Rita often comes around and spends time with William and Yuloma and all of the children.
Rita went so far as to invite Yuloma to go to church with her. They were seen together at various things, really showing her support for Yuloma in this devastating time. So the likelihood of Rita being involved in this at all was pretty minimal.
But in a twist detectives didn't see coming, Rita tells them that she believes there were cracks forming in the foundation of Will's new family, namely between him and Yuloma's daughter, Jacqueline.
Rita mentions to the police that William had problems with Jacqueline in the past. She said that William felt like Jacqueline was a spoiled child.
Jacqueline and Will often butted heads about what was going on in the house and what was allowed and wouldn't be allowed. When Jacqueline got sick of it, she'd just go with her boyfriend and his family.
Rita says things came to a head just before the family trip to Ireland.
Jacqueline was left behind because he wasn't going to spend his money on somebody that he thought was ungrateful.
I mean, he is right. The two kids that stay there, okay, cool. But the one that like lives back and forth with her boyfriend, yeah, I'm not bringing you to Ireland. You and your boyfriend can do what y'all want to do. If y'all want to tag along, okay, we could be a family, but y'all gonna have to get your own room, your own flights and everything. I already got to come out of pocket for her two kids, her plus my kid. That's 5 people I got to pay for. Nah, I'm not paying for her and the boyfriend. Would it be messed up even if there wasn't like any bad blood between you and like the oldest stepdaughter? Like that's a lot of money to be trying to spend. Like I'm not spending money, especially if they're ungrateful. You know what I mean? Like a spoiled kid, and you're not even my kid to be spoiled. I'm definitely not doing it. You got to just be mad at me.
This was a red flag for detectives because Jacqueline and Yuloma both said that they had a wonderful relationship.
I think that Jacqueline resented William for not taking her on a trip to Ireland where he took others in the family. But is that enough for murder?
Armed with this new information, investigators hope Yuloma can provide some clarity about the situation.
We've got too many strings and none of them are tied up. So they bring Yuloma back in and they say, hey, Yuloma, we hear that Jackie and Will never actually got along.
She does admit that Jacqueline and Will had a little bit of a rough, rocky relationship. She actually describes them as being oil and water.
Oftentimes she would yell and scream, you're not my dad. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Yuloma says Will and Jacqueline's constant feuding put her in a difficult spot.
As much as she loved her husband and as much as she loved her daughter, it was just a lot of tension between the two.
She's too old to be
As
saying you know my
investigators consider
dad.
the possibility that Will's stepdaughter may have harbored a grudge against him, they receive additional information from the forensics lab.
At this scene, they found 4 9mm shell casings. And 2 of the shell casings, they were able to recover some human DNA.
DNA just doesn't lie. This evidence is direct. It's not circumstantial. There's nothing to argue.
But when they checked that DNA against all the DNA in the database, it came back to nobody at all. So that whoever left that DNA has no criminal record, has not been arrested previously, most likely.
On November 11th, Will Walker's body is laid to rest, with all the ceremony the Cleveland Fire Department can bestow upon one of its own.
His funeral was huge. Firemen coming from all over the place to show their support.
Brother.
Will was a very popular individual within the community, so Mayor Jackson made public hall available. And it was a very nice service.
We did a long procession through the city and then out of the city to where he was buried.
Damn.
Will's funeral draws an enormous amount of news coverage, as does the fact that his killer is still at large.
The mystery behind it and the fact that they didn't have a lot to go on at that time really drove the news media. So at that time, the police didn't have any solid leads. The union stepped up and started to collect money to raise a reward, trying to see if that would motivate anybody to come forward.
I told my family straight up, man, Whenever I'm up and out of here, don't have no big funeral or nothing. Don't give me no coffin. Throw me in that furnace. Cremate me. If some of y'all want some of my ashes, have at it. Throw my ashes out in the. I mean, if you can't get to the ocean, throw them out in the lake. I'll be fine with that. But don't spend a lot of money on me after I'm gone, man. Just enjoy the times we had. Cremate me and just keep me in your memory. But don't waste money on a $10,000-$15,000 coffin. I don't need all of that. I don't need all of that.
It also generated a lot of tips that came into the police department and the Crime Stoppers.
Hey, yo, my boy, this is my dog Tops right here. I grew up with this man right here. It's like my brother, man. So he's in here. He's talking about Peaches, man. Peaches was our dog, man. She went out like a G. You know, we had a big funeral for her, 21 gun salute. He brought his dogs over. His dogs are crying because his dogs were scared of our Peaches. And we all just sat around and poured out a couple of 40s for Peaches. R.I.P. to the girl. I mean, she was a good dog too. I mean, fearless. I'm talking about bit the postman a couple times. Beautiful dog too. Beautiful dog.
Network.
Many of the leads generated by the reward proved to be dead ends. But investigators are intrigued by one tip in particular that comes from one of Will's co-workers, who claims that in the days just before the murder, Will began receiving a series of unusual, often hostile calls to his cell phone.
I called it. Was anybody calling him?
He kept getting these phone calls, and each time Will would step out, and he was increasingly getting angrier and angrier and angrier. His buddy didn't know what these phone calls were about, but he decided to tell the police because maybe it has something to do with what happened to him.
Is it possible the calls are connected to Will's murder? When police look into Will's phone records, they find that the number belongs to a used car dealership.
Turns out, he was supposed to be getting 2 cars delivered because he bought cars for him and Uloma. But the truck driver that was delivering the cars got pulled over, arrested for drug possession, and the cars weren't there.
Where is he buying these cars? He's buying these cars off of 35th and Prospect. The driver of the truck of the 2 used vehicles got pulled over and arrested for drug possession. Only in America.
Police can find no connection between the truck driver and Will's murder. But no sooner had that lead gone up in smoke, investigators receive another potential lead.
So the detectives get a phone call from a woman who says that her son, Daniel, has some information crucial to this case.
She claims that her son had overheard some of his friends talking about the murder, and they claim that Chad, Jacqueline's boyfriend, was the one who killed Will.
This was a huge break in the case. It was what they needed.
Now they bring Daniel in for questioning, and they're trying to just get some clarity on the story that he just overheard.
He tells the police that there actually were some issues between Will and Uloma's daughter Jacqueline, as well as her boyfriend Chad.
That's why you can't have these old motherfuckers living in the house with you. In every other culture and country, kids be staying at their parents' house till like 20, 25 until they finish school and get up on their feet. Black culture, she moved in with the boyfriend, was living with the boyfriend and his mama. This nigga Chad, he into beefing with niggas, and then she coming back to the house because the block is hot over there. Will got to put his foot down. He probably did say, hell no, you can't be over here. Excuse me. He already told her she couldn't come to Ireland. So Will knew. Will was like, look, I changed my life. My ex-wife, she's out of here. Uloma, your daughter, she can't be coming to the house like that. She definitely can't have a key to the crib. She lived with some wild nigga. So Will knew what was up and he seen it. And he was basically trying to keep her away from tearing down the family. So Will was a good man. There ain't many of us. There's a lot of good black men out here. Me and Will, we're two of the, you know what I'm saying? Well, I put him above me because he's a father. So, you know, it's more respect to him. But man, he was already peeping what's going on. Fucking fast ass daughter out here ripping and running the streets, living with her boyfriend and trying to come back to the crib. Hell no.
Will didn't really like this girl's boyfriend. He ran in a tough crowd, and he was not respectful of William at all.
In fact, just a few weeks before the murder, Chad actually was smoking weed at the home of Will Walker. And when Will arrived home, he confronted Chad about this, and Chad actually went on to threaten him.
Just that shit I be talking about, man. You know, I like to stereotype myself, but I stereotype my brothers out here too. You can't have these niggas around. You know, when I go outside, I love my people, but you know, when I go outside on my street, when I go and look left and I look right, I look up, ain't a nigga in sight. It's just me. I'm the only nigga on the block. It's just me. This whole radius around here, it's just me. The street up the street, nothing but Germans. Across from me, I got some Middle Eastern people on the second house. I think Middle Eastern on the third floor. Germans on the first floor. Next to me, it's an old man. He cool as fuck. Whenever my packages come, they drop the packages off over there. Packages be outside the front of my door. I be at work. Come home, packages there. Ain't no one touching them. Don't no one care. They'll pick it up and take it in their house and leave a note. Hey, we got your package. Come and get it from over here. Ain't a nigga in sight. For some reason, niggas just gotta do nigga shit. Why you smoking at this man Will's house? Will ain't did nothing to nobody. He put a roof over your girlfriend's mama head, took in the two little kids, looked out for your goddamn girlfriend, but she over here ungrateful as hell, fucking with your bum ass. You smoking weed in front of the house. That's why. One kid, okay. She can have one kid, but I prefer no kids just for the simple fact I'm not trying to deal with another nigga's kids bullshit. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Outside the house smoking weed, man. Go smoke in your car. At least be somewhat respectful. Do you guys think I'm saying nigga, shit, fuck, all this? Do you think I talk like this when I go around elders? No, I don't. I straighten up and fly right. Now when I'm around family, that's different. You know, we got a different level of respect around there. But I don't talk like this. I don't talk like this at work. But when I'm talking to y'all, we got to understand it. But I'm not going to be at somebody's house smoking weed on the porch, especially a girl that I'm talking to. Even if weed is legal in the state. I'm not doing that. Come on, man. Back before I was an employee of the, you know what I'm saying, of where I'm at. Man, when I be at my mom, I'm not smoking in my mama's house. I'm not smoking on the porch. I'm going out to the back, like to the shed or something. Going to the car or something, chilling in the driveway. I'm not going to be on the porch with it. Come on, man.
So based on the information the tipster gives them, the detectives subpoena cell phone records for Chad. And when they get the cell phone records back, they realize that there's a lot of activity around the time of the murder between Jacqueline, Chad, and a third person.
Turns out it was this guy named Ryan Doherty.
Your nigga look like
Ryan Doherty is just a guy around the neighborhood.
He is a low-level criminal at this point.
Based on the phone records, as it relates to a murder. A lot of times there'll be a lot of traffic between certain people that are involved.
It appears that several calls transpired with Chad and Ryan Doherty in the days and even hours leading up to Will's murder. But Ryan wasn't the only one Chad Padgett was communicating with during that time.
Some of the text messages indicate that Chad is attempting to buy a gun from a guy named Chris Hine. And they also learned that Chad's phone was pinging at the scene at the time of the murder.
It was very suspicious. At this point, the ends of the strings are starting to tie together, and detectives know that they are close to finding out who is the person that killed William and why.
Police want to talk to Chad Padgett and find out from him why his
Okay.
cell phone was pinging at the crime scene at the time of the murder.
Chad explains that he left a jacket at the Walker residence earlier that day, along with his cell phone and a bag of marijuana.
The detectives also asked him to explain the text messages that he sent to Chris Hine, asking to buy a gun. He did say that he ended up not buying the gun and he had no use for the gun.
He did reiterate to police that he and Jacqueline had no problems with Will. They all got along great and there were no issues in the house.
Police aren't buying Chad's story.
Hell no.
Based on the fact that his cell phone put him at the scene of the crime at the time the murder was committed, the detectives arrested him for aggravated murder.
But investigators know until they have more concrete evidence tying Chad to the crime, the charges likely won't stick.
Anytime you're looking to charge somebody for murder, you've definitely got to dot your I's and cross your T's.
What up, Kendall?
Investigators hope Ryan Doherty, one of the men Chad was in contact with the night of the murder, can help strengthen their case. But when they interview Doherty, they're stonewalled.
Stonewall? What the
He's
fuck
like,
that mean?
Got nothing to say.
Doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to cooperate at all.
Ryan Doherty's silence stops the investigation in its tracks.
Hey, so what y'all think? Y'all think Ryan Doherty has something to do with it? So Ryan Doherty is talking to Chad and Jacqueline. Jacqueline is the daughter, the stepdaughter, Yaloma's daughter. She's dating Chad. They're talking to a third-party person who turns out to be Ryan Doherty, but they're stonewalled because Ryan Doherty ain't saying nothing. But they do have text messages saying Ryan Doherty was trying to buy a gun from white boy Chris. What y'all think Ryan Doherty was in on this? They said he a low-level dealer too, though. Well, a low-level criminal, not a dealer. See, that's the thing, man. You get these knuckleheads that ain't got shit going on for them. Man, a couple $100, you could give this dude, hey man, I give you $200, man. You go rob the liquor store. He could go rob the liquor store and get like, let's just say $1,500, and he'll give you that $1,500 and take like $200. Like, these are the people that they get to do these crimes. Did you hear what I said? Give him $200 to go rob the liquor store. He gets $1,500. He comes back, you give him $200, you get the $1,300. That's how stupid these people are. Ryan Doherty ain't got shit going on. So Ryan Doherty in that text message is like, shit, y'all talking 100 bands? How much y'all gonna give me? Hey, we'll give you $2,500 if you do this. Some wild shit, man. It's some wild shit. If my boy Tops is in here, he can vouch. We had two guys that we hung around. Hey, Tops, you know exactly who I'm talking about, too. We had two guys that we used to hang around. If we were to tell them to do some wild shit for like $50, man, they would get active. These two would get active. They were brothers, too. They would get active. I'm talking about you could tell them to do the wildest shit. One of my homeboys, he used to date this chick that said she worked for BET. The whole time she was a scammer in New York. They would go into like Walmart and shit, and they would go like Walmart, Home Depot, and they would go in the trash cans. You know, the trash cans right outside the store, they would take the whole trash bags. So when I used to be on the road, so when I heard this story, they would take the whole trash bags and they would dump the trash bags out at home, and they would take all the receipts out the trash bags. Then what they would do with the receipts, go back to the store. They wouldn't even wait like a week to go back to the store. It would be the same day. They go back to the store, and all the receipts that were in the trash can, they would go find those products, go to the shelf, take them up to the counter, and get the refunds off of it. Well, they got too far in the game, and my homeboy, he started getting spooked. So one day she went in to do the little operation. This nigga was sitting in the car. They was up in New York. He was sitting in the car. She went inside. So he escaped. He left the car running in the no parking zone. She went inside. She got jammed up. So she was trying to call back to get this nigga to come like bail her out. This nigga hopped on a flight and went back to Missouri, bro. Man, we had like, isn't it like y'all sleep on Kansas City? The shit that you see going on in these major cities, that shit goes on in Kansas City. We lived like, that's what, look, Tops is laughing. That's the shit that we lived around, bro. That's what we like, nigga, $50, you can get these niggas to get active. I tell my homeboy, hey, go holler at her, the baddest chick we see in the club. We know he gonna get shot down, but fuck it. Hey, go holler at her. He gonna get shot down. So once he gets shot down, I can come over there and hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm in there now because I know he gonna be on some weird, extremely hyper shit. You know what I mean? Because I just don't know. But man. Now, I would never tell him to do no crimes or nothing, but I mean, it is what it is. But these are the type of people that are like that, man. But that's my dog, though. You know what I mean? This is in Cleveland, man. But yeah, this Ryan Doherty guy, they probably told this nigga, yeah, we're gonna get some money off of him. We'll give you $1,000. Ryan was like, $1,000? Okay, shit, I'll take that wow.
But the following day, police receive an unexpected phone call.
The day after the Doherty interview, the police get a call from Chad's mother. Chad's mother explains to them that that Chad is really ready to tell the truth.
Damn, Chad, you done got all the way knee deep in the game and your mama talking about go tell the truth.
Gonna, I'm gonna tell.
They bring him in and he starts singing like a canary.
She asked me to kill Will.
But who is the she Chad Padgett is referring to? Is it his girlfriend, Jacqueline? Will's ex-wife, Rita? Or is there some other unknown suspect who wanted Will Walker dead?
I'm not on the criminal side, but fuck that. Your mama talking about go down there and tell the truth? Hell no, man. If I'm gonna go out like a bitch, we need to go get a lawyer. Let's go get a lawyer first. I'll tell the lawyer what happened. The lawyer will go down there and say, we want full immunity from this fucking murder, and we'll tell you the whole truth. Hell no. If you're going to go down there and tell, you better make sure you go get you a lawyer. Say, we'll tell you everything. We'll tell you everything today. This is real world. This ain't no TV shit. Like, this nigga mama told him to go tell. Hell no, I'm not going down there and telling on myself. Let's get a lawyer. Whatever that lawyer costs, get the lawyer to go down there and get this shit written up to where I got full immunity if I tell y'all exactly what happened. We gonna put it on her. We gonna put it on this nigga Ryan. Fuck that. If we snitching, we gotta make sure we ain't getting no time. I'm just being honest. This nigga went down there and told everything. He probably gonna get some jail time.
Detectives believe they are on the cusp of obtaining a confession from Chad Padgett. They press him to explain who the she is that Chad claims offered him 10 grand to kill Will Walker.
$10 grand. $10 grand in 2013 is roughly, we said 100,000 was 134. It's roughly 13,400. Hell no, that is not enough for a body.
You can tell that Chad is scared. Finally, he just blurts out, Ryan killed that man.
Chad's literally pointing the finger at his friend and saying, you know, he's the one who did this.
Well, now things are starting to snowball in our direction.
But why would Ryan Doherty want to kill Will Walker? According to Chad, Ryan was the trigger man in a plot to murder Will that was hatched just days before his death and was orchestrated by someone that up until now, police had no reason to suspect.
Chad says one day he and Jacqueline were giving Yuloma a ride to work.
She seemed pretty cool. One day, dropped off at work, picked her up. She asked me a question. She asked me, did I want to make like $10,000? I said, "Did how?"
So Chad tells police about Yuloma coming to him and sharing the story that William is abusive towards her.
She told him that she was trying to get out of this horrible relationship, and the only way that she was going to be able to get away from William's abuse is by taking him out.
She asked me to kill Will. I said, I can't do it, but I might know somebody.
So Chad, being young, dumb, and having money waved in his face, he decided that he was going to help her out.
Was like, would you be able to do something for some money? And he was like, what's up? I was like, you gotta kill this dude for some money. I said, you can get close to 1,000. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm down with it.
Chad also admits to purchasing the murder weapon from his friend, Chris Hine.
I gave him the money right there. That's when like he popped up with the gun and everything and gave it to me.
Chad says that around 8 p.m. on the night of November 3rd, Yuloma texted Jacqueline a message telling her it's time to come home.
This was the phrase that they used to signal that it was time to start the events of the evening.
Chad says that shortly after that, he and Ryan Doherty, dressed in black hoodies, approached the house and waited for Will to come home.
They saw Will just pulling out and leaving the residence to go to the fast food place. So they had to wait for him to come back.
Chad claims that when William returned home, Ryan followed him up the driveway.
Will is putting his key in the door. He's got his little bag underneath his arm. And before he can make it into the house, he's shot.
Ryan shoots him 4 times.
According to Chad, Yuloma had specific instructions for them after shooting Will.
Yuloma has told the kids, make sure that you empty his pockets to make it look like a robbery, because we don't want to raise any suspicion.
At that point, both Chad and Ryan, they headed by foot to the light rail.
According to Chad, Yuloma had specific instructions.
Not Yuloma. I thought it was the ex-wife. But this is why. Not Yuloma. I thought it was the ex-wife. No disrespect to anybody with 3 kids, but this is why you don't wife up somebody with 3 kids that's trying to get out of poverty. They stuck with that poverty mindset. To them, 100 bands minus the 10K, 90 bands is hitting the lottery. Not I was over here thinking it was the ex. The whole time the ex-wife is all right. Yuloma, you went through breast cancer. This man helped you. He was a fool to take y'all to fucking Ireland. I would have never done that. Y'all already seen. I was questioning, like, man, would I be a bad person? I'm not paying for goddamn 2 kids that ain't mine to go to god darn Ireland. I'm barely paying for them to go to McDonald's. Damn, man. This is why you can't take someone that already has problems and issues and luggage and bring them with you. You already get 1 free check bag. That means whatever bullshit you got, that's your 1 free check bag. When you start bringing extra bullshit, they start charging you at the airport. You can't bring other people's luggage with you. You got to live your life. When I came over here, what I had to do? I got 1 free check bag. Then I had to pay for my second one. I'm not paying for someone else's bullshit. I knew something was up, man. I said I wouldn't personally do it, no disrespect, but 3 kids. She's trying to get her way out of poverty. Now she's looking for a husband, but the first 2 baby daddies, she didn't look for a husband. She just like, what's up? It is what it is. This nigga married her. His insurance went up because he put 2 kids and her on it to make sure that she can get the right treatment for breast cancer. This is fucked up, man. The whole time I was looking at the ex-wife. The ex-wife, I'm glad the ex-wife is getting the life insurance. Yoloma, the shit wasn't even in your name. I'm glad the ex-wife is getting the money so his kids can at least benefit from it. Damn.
For them after shooting Will.
Yoloma has told the kids, make sure that you empty his pockets to make it look like a robbery, because we don't want to raise any suspicion.
At that point, both Chad and Ryan, they headed by foot to the light rail train station.
And they go their separate ways.
Chad says he didn't receive any money from Yoloma until a week after the murder.
One day she'd pop up and be like, look, here's $100, here's that.
You did get $10,000 too.
$100? She would have popped up and said, Mo, here's $100. I would have been patting myself down looking for that Thule. It looks like I'm about to catch 2 bodies. $100? What the fuck did I do with that motherfucker? I'm finding we gotta throw these now. $100? 1% of the 10,000, which was already a low ball. It's gonna be 2 bodies. It's gonna be Yoloma and her daughter, because Ryan killed Will. I'm catching 2 bodies. Jacqueline, Yoloma, y'all gonna have to see me, both of y'all, right now. Right now, $100. Okay, I got $100 for you. Hold on, wait right there. I'm gonna go get change for that $100. I'm coming back out. I'm laying shit down, and then I'm calling the police. Like, hell no, Yoloma ran up on Will. Yoloma just came up to the house trying to pay me $100 not to tell. Hell no. Tell Ryan, lay low, nigga. We got to. We got the suspects right here, Ryan. Don't even worry about it. I got the right personnel on the phone.
The FBI. Yeah, this the FBI.
$100? Shit. Kendall talking about Mo lead the child out of it. Jacqueline is not a child. Jacqueline is his girlfriend. Jacqueline is the only reason he knew who Yoloma was. Jacqueline's the one that got in the car and told Chad, you want to make some money. Jacqueline was in on this. Yoloma was the brains behind it, but Jacqueline is the one that told her boyfriend, you want to make some money, $10,000. So that means Jacqueline needs to be buried right next to her mama. Both of them got to go. See, Kendall, you missed the early part of the story. Jacqueline is the only reason Chad knew that this plan was in action. Fuck, that's fucked up. $100? You couldn't come over there with like at least 1,000? Like, hey, here's 1,000, man. We got to just keep it hush hush till the check comes through. $100? Even that nigga Chad's mama said $100. You got to go tell.
Receive any money from Yoloma until a week after the murder.
One day she'd pop up and be like, look, here's $100, here's that.
You did get $10,000 too. How much would you say?
Yeah, I would probably want to say altogether about 2,500. Yeah, probably.
And of that 2,500, Ryan gets
500, and I still owe him 100.
Ryan caught the body. Chad was just there. Ryan caught the body. He got $500, and Chad owes him $100. So total, they got $3,600 for this body. He ended up getting $2,500. Ryan got $500, and he owed him. They got $3,600.
At that point, Chad Paget breaks down.
Should have got a lawyer, bro. I could have got you out of this.
You sorry you did this?
Truly. Like, by all means.
Police arrest Chad and charge him with involuntary manslaughter and conspiracy to commit murder. Now armed with his confession, police bring both Uloma and her daughter Jacqueline into the station in hopes that they will come clean about their role in Will's murder. But Uloma doesn't play ball.
Do you care to make any statements about our investigation into the murder of William Walker?
That was attorney.
They said, listen, if you don't start talking, we're going to start taking your daughter in for the crime. And she stayed completely quiet. She didn't move. She barely blinked.
However, when detectives question Jacqueline, she isn't nearly as tight-lipped as her mother.
So she starts spilling the beans. She says there was absolutely no evidence of him being abusive. That is something that he would never do.
So Jacqueline tells police what the motive behind this murder was. She said that at this point, her mom is spending uncontrollably.
Uloma had ran up tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt.
Not only does she have credit card debt, but she started taking out credit cards in Will's name. This isn't something that's going to go away. She can't push it under the rug.
Uloma being in a tremendous amount of debt could have caused a lot of internal turmoil. You want to get out of the debt, but you don't have the means or the understanding of how to do so. So you go to extreme measures. And in this case, I believe that she created a plot and a plan that wasn't successful in the end. And it also still didn't get her out of the debt.
She got the 100,000 and started taking out credit cards. And, oh my God. I'm getting a headache, dog. The ignorance, man. This is the purest definition of we should have never gave you niggas money, bro. I always say this. People tell you, man, if you give me 100,000 right now, man, I'm gonna flip it. No, you're not. You give 99% of the Americans $100,000 right now. They're not gonna flip it. They're gonna blow that fucking money. Because if you can flip 100,000, then you can flip $100. If you can flip $100, then you can flip $10. So don't let no one tell you, boy, if I had 100,000 right, you know what I'd do with it? You wouldn't do a damn thing, nigga. We ain't seen you do nothing with the $1,000 you got right now in your motherfucking savings account. Uloma came from poverty. She don't know what to do with this money. The first thing she was doing was taking out credit cards and putting shit on the credit cards. That interest is running up, is in over her head. She buying shit she can't afford. Because the thing is, you got that $100,000 as a one-time payment. The issue is if you don't have money coming in, it's just money going out. And your money, you probably stop working because you thinking $100,000 is a good enough amount of money that you ain't really got to do nothing. When in reality, I mean, 100,000 for me, 100,000 for me is 70,000 saved, 30,000 blown. 70,000 is going to be invested. Probably 10,000 put up into, you know what I'm saying? Probably just had that shit sitting into like a whole nother savings account. The 70,000 to be into my stocks. And then 20,000, I just got to do whatever, but I'm probably only going to spend like 5,000 out of it because I don't need anything to like get to that level.
Jacqueline says her mother plotted to kill Will because she thought it would result in a gigantic financial windfall. One that would settle all her credit card debt and still leave her with enough to live out her days in relative luxury.
Explain that to the T. You can't give niggas that ain't never had money. That's why you see 90% of the people that win the lottery, even if it is some M's, they go broke. They don't know what the fuck to do with this money. She paying off all kinds of credit card debt and thought that she would still have enough money to live the rest of her life. It's $100,000. You're not gonna live the rest of your life off $100,000. For the rest of my life, I make about, to do nothing for the rest of my life, I make around $45,000 every year for the rest of my life. Now, could I scale down and live off of 45,000 a year? You damn right I could. But I would definitely move to somewhere where it's cheaper. You know what I'm saying? To like South America or like to Asia or something. I live like a king. But I make about 45,000 a year tax-free for the rest of my life. So that's why I say, like, if you give me 100,000, I'm gonna be straight. Cause I mean, I really don't have to, I'm only working so I could be over here in Europe. But you give a nigga that's in debt $100,000, she thought that she could live her life in luxury with $100,000. No disrespect to Will, but at some point in this relationship, he had to realize that this is no disrespect, but it's all disrespect because she set this man up to get killed. There was at some point in this marriage or in this relationship that Will had to look at her and listen to her talk and say that this bitch is stupid. There had to be a moment in life where he heard her say something and said, this bitch is stupid. There's signs. You know an idiot when you talk to an idiot. You just not like, man, I'm not listening to nothing they talk about. There was at some point where Will realize this, she ain't the brightest. See, that four letter word love, you be blinded by it sometimes. He probably enjoyed being around her, probably cool company. But when she get to talking, stupid as a motherfucking rock. There had to be one moment he just looked like, what the fuck are you talking about? She had 3 kids. She had the older daughter, Jacqueline, that was dating Chad. Then she had the 2 other kids that were cool with Will because Will was taking care of them. Nah, Will wasn't stupid. Will got promoted. Will used to work at a steel mill. Like, Will was legitimate. Will worked at a steel mill till 98. From there, he I forgot what he used to teach classes for botany. And then he went to the fire department. Then he got promoted to a lieutenant, got a 16% pay raise. Will do his job. Everyone, you didn't see Will's funeral. The whole city turned up for Will. Will was the man in the city. He was probably just like, man, she's cool. She loved me. But I know there had to be a moment he was like, man, this motherfucker kind of stupid. It's kind of slow. Damn, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up for real. This dude did everything, man. That's why I don't do shit for nobody. Fuck it, man. If I go out, I'm going out on my own accord. Man, golly.
Jacqueline said that her mother thought that she would be receiving about $500,000 from the life insurance policy that Will had taken out.
What she didn't realize was that her husband had his ex-wife Rita on the life insurance policy so that he can make sure his kids were taken care of.
You always make sure your kids is taken care of before somebody else. And $500,000, do you know what a $500,000 policy is? If it ain't term, man, that shit gonna hit you for about like 130, 150 a month. A half a ticket. I know you sound like it ain't a lot, but think about it. If it ain't term, meaning, you know what I'm saying, maybe a 10-year, 15-year term, man, that's gonna run you about fucking 30, 40,000 before you unalive for a half a T. Oh my goodness.
The fact that you killed somebody over money that you weren't even entitled to is baffling. All of that selfishness, all that narcissism, all of that greed was for nothing.
When you are on the brink of financial ruins, you're capable of doing anything at any given time. Uloma's belief to want a better life for herself definitely drove her to acting unethically. I mean, for goodness sake, she even roped in her minor daughter to help create a plan to kill William.
Uloma is charged with aggravated murder, and Jacqueline is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. After they are taken into custody, police charge both Ryan Doherty and Chris Hine with aggravated murder and conspiracy to commit murder for their involvement in the crime. Those closest to Will and Uloma are blown away by the truth about what happened.
Hugely fucked up. Hugely. I remember hearing it and going, you know, you have to be shitting me, really?
What pisses me off the most about it is Will was trying to do what he could to provide a better future for them. And the only way they could repay him is with betrayal. To me, it's unspeakable evil.
As the district attorney prepares to bring the case to trial, 4 of the 5 defendants, Jacqueline, Chad, Ryan, and Chris, all accept plea deals in exchange for their testimony against Uloma.
I know that's right.
On June 21st, 2017, Uloma's trial begins. Prosecutors open by painting her as a woman so desperate to live a life of luxury that she'd never been able to afford before, that she was willing to manipulate the affections of a doting husband to get what she wanted, even if it meant he had to die.
The prosecutors argued that Uloma married Will for his money, and she would stop at nothing to get what she wanted at that time.
Uloma was working on her end to get him to change his will, to change his insurance, all of his paperwork.
She appeared to move Will into a position where she could financially benefit from his demise.
Ultimately, Uloma was counting on Will's life insurance to fund her and fund his murder.
Prosecutors also state that part of Uloma's plan to manipulate Will included lying about her cancer diagnosis.
Oh my God.
We later learned through the course of the investigation that her cancer scare was a lie. She was just playing on Will's good heart.
Will was just a gullible brother, man, looking for love in all the wrong place. Damn, man. I tell you, every 3 minutes and 39 seconds, we lose a brother to the streets. Unfortunately, in this situation, it is an unaliving. But if you listen to these little tips that I give you guys here and there, pause on the tips, here and there, then you might be able to.
And his credit live her the lifestyle that she wanted.
Uloma was playing the long game when it came to Will. She realized that this was somebody who she could get over on. It all just seems like a plan to have an easy life and spend a lot of money.
Everything was a sham. You know, it was just a sham.
But Uloma's defense team presents a different theory. One that pins the crime entirely on her daughter, Jacqueline.
She didn't turn it on the daughter. Oh my God. When she showed up with that motherfucking $100, I'm telling you, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I would have got off on her ass, man.
Her defense blamed it on her daughter, saying that her daughter did not like the way Will ran the house and they've always had their issues.
I think it was convenient for the defense to try and pin the murder on Chad and Jacqueline because they had already confessed, yet Uloma was still holding out.
To throw your own daughter under the bus to save yourself, it really kind of speaks to the type of person she truly is.
To counter the defense's assertions, prosecutors present the confessions of the 4 other defendants, which all place Uloma at the center of the plot.
Get her.
They also pointed the cell phone records of Chad Paget and daughter Jacqueline, which seemed to corroborate all aspects of their confession. Ultimately, it takes the jury less than 2 hours to find Uloma guilty of murder. She is sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
Thank you.
The verdict actually came out on what would have been the 4th wedding anniversary of Will Walker and Uloma.
After the verdict, Uloma's oldest daughter, Jessica Hall, took to social media to call her mom out about her conniving, murderous ways.
She went from saying that, no, she didn't have anything to do with it, to it was my sister. And so when you start looking at everything in a big picture, you like, yo, my mama is sick. Like, she really killed this man for the insurance money and was really, if she ever got caught, she was going to pin it on her younger daughter.
To think this ugly woman made that daughter. Jessica was kind of cute.
And so when you start looking at everything in a big picture, you like, yo, my mama is sick. Like, she really killed this man for the insurance money and was really, if she ever got caught, she was going to pin it on her younger daughter.
She married Will for money. She tried to take his life for money.
All of that selfishness, all that narcissism, all of that greed was for nothing. And now you're going to prison for the rest of your life.
What up, Elder?
Irony raises its hand, huh?
I think it was shocking that their relationship from the outside looking in seemed perfect. This was a seemingly happy, normal couple.
Will loved her and trusted her, and hopefully every day she thinks about Will and what she had and what it could have been.
To be that cold-blooded and to take someone who's so giving and such a good person, they can rot in hell.
The victim was one of the best guys you would ever want to know. This was a true loss to the city of Cleveland.
He was a brother and he was a friend. He was just a guy you had to love.
I think those of us who served with Will will always keep him in our memories. We'll always think about him. I wish he was still here. I wish he was still serving our community and bringing that love to the job that he had every single day.
Chad, Ryan, and Chris pled guilty, received prison sentences ranging from 18 to life. Man, I'm telling you, that's why you got to get you a lawyer, man. They gonna put you on them bullshit. Chad told the whole story. Chad should have been able to get out of there with no time. Chad didn't even kill nobody. He was just there. So Jacqueline Hines was 17 at the time of the crime. She was sentenced to juvenile detention and released upon turning 7. Yoloma Walker is currently incarcerated in Dayton Correctional Institution in Montgomery, Ohio. She would never set foot in the outside world again. Damn, that's fucked up. And the whole time I was looking at the ex-wife too. Well, I'm gonna call up an expert real quick. We about to find out about this life insurance stuff. RIP to Will. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, where y'all out?
Oh, it's like.
Nah, this ain't Mama Mo. This my sister and one of the hardest working men in America. Okay.
I'm shaking right now. Hold on a second.
Okay. Hey, right now they kind of protesting. If y'all gonna come out, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, or I'll talk to you tonight about coming out. But right now it look like they're gonna be protesting in Paris. And if y'all ain't ready to get down in the streets and fight, then I don't know if y'all should come, because I'm ready for whatever.
You down for whatever?
Yeah, I'm down for whatever. Yeah, Mom did say y'all was. So I was just gonna ask Tellus, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna ask him about like life insurance policies. We just watched a documentary, and this lady unalived her husband for $100,000, but she thought she was gonna get $500,000. So we want to know like roughly what it would cost for like $500,000, how much that would cost if it isn't term. Because I know he's a little bit better with the numbers than I am. I'm trying to give like rough estimates. What y'all getting to eat?
This place to City Market down here in Atlanta. He gets some chicken. I got some burritos. Well, I got a burrito for
Hey, we
side tortillas for $30.
$30.
Yeah.
Y'all rich. Hey, if y'all come over here, don't be trying to buy no expensive. I'm not eating with y'all expensive food. I'm gonna go to little, you know what I'm saying, the cheap spots.
No, we like cheap spots, but I did like chicken and steak, so that's like $15. So
Nah, y'all too fancy. I be like, let's go eat here. Y'all be like, ugh, that's up under $100.
sometimes we come stupid. Sometimes we come out of
Ugh, under 100.
We're just trying to fall on a budget.
Yeah, I'm on a budget right now, and right now they leave in the chat. They like, man, your sister don't know what she talking about. I'm like, man, give her a chance, y'all.
Here, we're gonna ask you a question or two. That's the left ear. I got the right ear. I got in the right ear.
Oh, ain't that sweet? Y'all sharing earpieces. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, I just got a quick question. For a $500,000 life insurance policy. Oh man, they done lost connection. They over here sharing ear. They got one earpiece in one ear. Who they think they are? So this is my sister and my brother-in-law. They supposed to come over here at the end of the month so we can go to the Olympics. They bougie though. I'm talking about they different. I'm talking about they don't live like me. They are not like us. Can you hear me? Y'all low. Yeah, we can hear you now. All right, so we're watching this documentary, and they had this lady thought she had a life insurance policy of 500,000, but it was really 100. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So she ended up killing her husband because she thought the life insurance policy was 500,000, but it was 100,000. If it's not a term policy, about how much a month is it for like $500,000 life insurance?
Not a term?
Yeah, not a term.
Oh man, if you're gonna pay a whole life, now depending upon age, man, you're gonna pay for $500,000. Man, you may be paying $500-$700 a month or something like that.
See, I was looking like around 200, but that's what I was trying to tell them. I like, man, if you paying for $500,000 life insurance that isn't term, you about to be spending like before that person's dead, probably like $60,000-$70,000.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a lot of money. In fact, you got to think. So, Sharice and I, we had 100,000 when we were freaking 22, and we was paying $70. So you times that by 5, whatever. So now you're talking about 350, but that's somebody that's in their early 20s, though.
Yeah.
What have you. So it just depends upon like an older person. So yeah, somebody that's in their 20s, they can be paying a couple hundred. You about right, about a couple $100 a month.
Okay. Now let me
So
ask.
what? Somebody was trying to price that or something?
No. So the lady, she killed her husband because he had a life insurance policy. Now it was only 100,000, but she thought it was 500,000. So I was telling them, I was like, if it was that much at their age, I thought it was gonna be like around like 250, 300. But yeah, you're right. If they're about mid 50s, they're gonna be paying like $500-$600 a month for her.
Easily.
Dang. Now let me ask you this. All right, so she thought like the life insurance policy ended up turning out to be 100,000. She thought 100,000 was going to be enough to pay off all her credit card debt and still live a life of luxury. How far you think 100,000 is going to take you if you're paying off, let's say, 15 to 20,000 in debt?
Like you done in a year. You in a year. You shot. Look, your hopes and dreams are done after that year, bro. She thought she was about to be balling off of 100. Nah.
Hey, Hey, not making fun of it because the man died, but the guys they paid to kill him. Tell me why she went to his house and gave him $100. Like they said they were gonna give him $10,000, but a couple of weeks after the murder, she went to the house and gave him $100 and talking about I'll get you the rest.
So how did she get found out? They snitched on her?
Yeah, the guy that she gave $100 to, he said she ended up giving him $2,500, and he owed the other. And then the other guy, he gave him $500, and he said I owed him $100. So his mom told him, "You got to go tell the police." So they ended up going to tell on her, and she ended up getting life, and they got like 18 years.
Wow, that ain't some foolishness, boy.
Oh man. Yeah, man.
So what you see this at?
I just watched it on Tubi. So they got like little documentaries.
Oh.
I was watching on my other channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said let me call. This is Tellis Bolton, man. He's like #1 in America, for real, for real. He really does it. So when it comes to numbers, y'all think I'm good with it. He's better than me. So
tell him to hit me up. Holla at me.
Hey, he's like number. I don't know if he like what the regional director now or whatever it is. What is that?
VP. I'm a VP, baby.
Oh, my bad. He's the vice president. Yeah.
Man, come on, man. Don't shortchange me.
My bad. Yeah, hey, y'all here right now on the live. If they come over, we got the vice president. He paying for everything. I'm gonna be when we go to the Olympics. If we go, we're gonna be right there. We're gonna be in the front row watching the Olympics. Hey, VP paying for everything. Matter of fact, I want to rent a Lambo for the weekend. So I'm gonna give me a Lambo. Huh?
Sister told you we balling on the budget.
Nah, she said y'all balling on the budget, so when y'all come over here, y'all can ball.
We looking forward to that though, man.
Nah, we can definitely talk about it. Like I said, they protesting right now because of the election, but man, I think we'll be all right. We ought to go pop in for like 2 days, so we should be all right. But I told Cherished, just be prepared. You know what I'm saying? We'll find some shield or something, and then we'll be all right.
All right, that'll work.
All right, love y'all.
All right, bro. Love you, man.
All right. All right. So for a mid-50s, $500,000 life insurance policy is gonna run you probably about $500-$600 a month. So you gotta have that bread. You getting $500,000, you better be making at least 1.5, 2 mil. It said moocher. What is a moocher? What does a moocher do? What is a moocher? I'm gonna have to look that word up. What is a moocher? Moochie's a moocher? Moocher. A person who lives off others without giving anything in return. How would I be a moocher? A moocher is someone who exploits the generosity of others and avoids paying their fair share. Oh man, I ain't no moocher. I've heard the word moocher, but I just didn't understand the context of mo and moocher being in the same sentence. A moocher? Me? How could I be a moocher when they flying from America and they gonna be at my crib for a week? How am I a moocher when they ain't gotta pay for no place to stay? They staying at my crib. How can I be a moocher when they gonna be driving the whip? How am I a moocher? It's the fair exchange here. You can fly over to Europe. You can get you a hotel. You can go down to the Olympics, get you another hotel, leave the Olympics and come back here and pay $2,000. You want something nice? $3,000. Or you can come stay with your bro. You got free electricity. You got free roam. You got a whip. You got your own room. Refrigerator stocked up. A moocher? Moocher? Damn no. I'm just saying. If I'm rolling with the VP, you know what comes with being with the VP? The VP treatment. You feel me? The VP treatment. the VP treatment. Come on, man. And my brother-in-law like 6'2", so they can't sleep in the guest room. They got to sleep in the master bed. I'm gonna have to give up my bed to them because I got the king size, and that room is just like a full size bed. So I'm gonna have to sleep in there because they too big. Well, he too big, he too tall. So yeah, moocher. Who got to pick them up from the airport? I got to ride up there an hour, go pick their ass up, bring their ass on back down. A moocher. Moocher? What's a moocher? Nah, but hopefully they do get to come over here. They are in Atlanta. As the VP, he does travel around a lot, so they always on the road. But that's my sister Cherise, my younger sister. You know what I'm saying? Older than me, but younger than our older sister. But yeah, so he knows, like, he does all the life insurance and everything. He good with the numbers, man. Good with the numbers. But that right there is, was this the two? That right there was Love You to Death for Love or Money. Nigga little here. Nigga little here. But now that was a cool documentary. Let me see. I think they got some more on here too. Let me see. Browse. I'm only trying to watch like the 2024s though. We'll find out what other documentary we got. Oh, in probably about 3:30ish. We'll do Power on the main channel. We'll break down the episode descriptions. We'll do that probably either 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Right now, I'm if you see me looking down a lot, I'm hitting people up behind the scenes. So I'm trying to get these tickets to. I didn't know there was a hip hop brunch, old school hip hop brunch tomorrow. So I'm trying to get tickets to that because it's sold out instead of going to this Afro crowd event that I was gonna go to. So I'm trying to get some tickets on that. OJ, how he really did it. Okay, TMZ. Love You to Death. Oh, so this is a series? Love You to Death. Playbook for Murder. We might have to watch that one on the next. Black Serial Killers, Truth or Fiction. Oh, okay. All right. We got us a few documentaries we need to watch over here. We got us a few of them. I went to Seattle and spent $55 on eggplant pasta and salad. Eggplant pasta? That doesn't even sound appealing. They probably gonna charge you just because. Forget that. We go to Paris. I plan on spending the hotel room I was looking at in Paris for myself. It was gonna be $400 for 2 nights. The tickets to the track meet was gonna be, I think, like $250. So that put me at like $600, $650. I'm gonna spend probably. I want to at least get a basketball jersey, probably either Curry or KD. But I'll probably buy Curry, KD, and LeBron jersey. I want to get the whole USA sweatsuit, and I'll probably get me like a USA shirt. Well, probably just an Olympic shirt because I ain't wearing a USA shirt out there. I'll buy one, but I ain't gonna wear it. I'll wear it when I get back. But yeah, so if I do go to Paris, I think I will spend. I got like 2,000. I'll spend out there for the weekend. Everything included though, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully they aren't protesting by then. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 over here. We'll be on moedotj's channel to break down the episode descriptions, the titles, try to figure out something over there. We have a little bit of free time with moedotj. So I'll probably be back on in probably like an hour, 3:30 or 4 o'clock, either or. I ain't got nothing to do tonight. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm not a moocher. I'm not bougie. I'm just a regular old guy, man. You know what I mean? Came home, chilled, long day at work, wanted to rest, wanted to watch a documentary, man. Y'all know I ain't bougie. I'm the most down to earth person you're ever going to meet. The most chill, the most down to earth. They used to call me Gravity, how down to earth I am. For real, they used to call me Gravity growing up. They're like, that boy too down to earth, bro. That nigga Gravity over there. Yeah. It's like I'm walking on the sun, how down to earth I am. You feel me? Check for bed bugs, man. Them bed bugs just gonna have to get on me, because you know I'm in that thing flexing. Hey, you mean the bed bug be doing the Macarena? Bed bugs are like lice. They only go to white people. Black people don't get bed bugs. Black people don't get bed bugs. You know, no, I ain't bougie. If I was bougie, I'd have got a haircut this week. But you feel me? I couldn't. All right, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me get out of here. Let me grab something to eat. We got about an hour. I'll be on moedotj's channel. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll be doing more documentaries. I'll have more articles. We're going to start being active. This channel is going to be more of a midday channel, especially while we got a break between power. It'll probably be more of a midday, so like 1 o'clock, noonish. And then we'll do documentaries. We'll do articles, anything that's popping up. Try to make it like a little series either, you know, saying in between. We'll do some body cam footage. We'll make it happen. But signing out, nigga Little here, the non-bougie black guy from Kansas City, Missouri, by way of Germany. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in an hour.